Last video, we cut the debt loose, but here's what nobody warns you about. Most people who fight their way out of debt end up right back in it. And it's not because they're bad with money, it's because life happened. The car died, the phone screen shattered, a surprise bill showed up out of nowhere. And with no cash ready to catch it, there's only one option left, the credit card, right back in the trap. So today, we build the one thing that breaks that cycle for good. Your emergency fund, the simple, boring, beginner version. The safety net that keeps you free. Let's go. So what actually is an emergency fund? It's a stash of cash set aside for one job and one job only. Emergencies. That's it. It's not for investing. It's not for spending. It's not for that thing you've been eyeing online. It just sits there, quietly waiting for the day life goes wrong, so that when it does, you're ready. Think of it like a shield. Most of the time, you don't even need it. But the one time you do, it's the difference between a bad week and a full-blown financial disaster. Here's why this is the foundation everything else sits on. Without a safety net, every surprise becomes an emergency, and every emergency becomes debt. A $400 car repair goes on the credit card. The card charges you 20%. And just like that, you're back in the snowball, rolling the wrong way, right where we were last video. But with even a small fund sitting there, that same $400 repair is just annoying. You pay it, you move on, and you never touch a credit card. That's the whole magic of it. An emergency fund quietly turns catastrophes into inconveniences. So how much do you actually need? And this is where most people panic because they hear the big scary number, 3 to 6 months of expenses, and they think there's no way I can do that. And they give up before they even start. So for right now, forget that number completely. Your first goal is tiny. It's called a starter emergency fund. Just a small cushion, enough to cover the little stuff. The flat tire, the vet bill, the busted phone. That's the first target, and honestly, it's the most important one. That small cushion is the difference between reaching for savings and reaching for debt. Once that starter cushion is in place, then you slowly build toward the bigger one. A few months of your basic expenses, so that even losing your income doesn't sink you, but you get there one step at a time. Small buffer first, big net later. Okay, so where does this money actually live? And the answer is not your regular checking account. That's the trap, because if your emergency fund is sitting right next to your everyday spending money, you will spend it. Out of sight, out of mind. You want it separate, a different account entirely. Ideally one that's just a little bit annoying to get to, so you're not tempted to raid it the second you see a sale. This is exactly what the savers of the world do. They build a little wall between their safety net and their spending. A high yield savings account is perfect for this. It's safe, you can still get to your money in a day or two if you truly need it, and it even earns you a little while it sits there. And here's the one big rule you cannot break. Do not invest your emergency fund. This money is not trying to grow, it's trying to be there. The market can drop at the exact moment you need the cash, and that is the complete opposite of a safety net. Your investments are for growth. Your emergency fund is for safety. You never, ever mix the two. So how do you actually fill this thing up? Same secret as investing. You automate it. You set up a small automatic transfer into that separate account every single payday, even $10 to start. You won't even feel it leave, and the fund quietly grows on its own in the background while you forget it's even happening. And if you want to speed it up, throw your windfalls at it. Your tax refund, a birthday gift, a bonus at work, that random bit of money you weren't even counting on. Instead of letting it disappear, you send it straight to the fund. Those are the moments that jumpstart the whole thing. And if you can, cut one small thing for a little while to feed it faster. That subscription you forgot about. Those extra late night orders. Temporary sacrifice, permanent safety. Now here's the discipline part, because this is exactly where people mess it up. An emergency fund only works if you are brutally honest about what an emergency actually is. And most things are not emergencies. A real emergency is 3 things: urgent, necessary, and unexpected. A medical bill, a car repair you need just to get to work, suddenly losing your job. That is what this money is for. A sale is not an emergency. A vacation is not an emergency. Wanting the newest phone is definitely not an emergency. The second you start raiding this fund for stuff you just want, it quietly stops being a safety net and turns right back into spending money. So protect it. It has exactly one job. But here's the other side of that. When a real emergency actually does hit, use it. That is literally what it is there for. Don't you dare feel guilty draining it for the exact thing you built it for. That's not failing. That's the plan working perfectly. And then, once the storm passes, you just rebuild it. You fill it back up and you're ready for the next one. That's the whole cycle. Use it, refill it, stay protected. And honestly, the best part of having an emergency fund isn't even the money itself. It's the feeling. There's a specific kind of calm that comes from knowing you're covered. You stop lying awake at night doing math in your head. You stop bracing every time your phone buzzes with a new bill. One bad day loses its power to wreck your entire life. And that piece is the thing that makes everything else actually work. It's what lets you invest without panicking, because when the market dips, you are not forced to sell in a panic. You've got your buffer. The safety net is the exact thing that makes you brave enough to build. So where does this fit with everything else we've covered? Here's the simple order that almost everyone who wins actually follows. First, that small starter fund, the little cushion, as fast as you can. Second, attack your high interest debt. Kill the thing dragging you backward. And third, build out the full net and start investing for real. Small buffer, then debt, then the full net plus investing. That's the entire foundation in order. So let's bring it all together. An emergency fund is a stash of cash for real emergencies only. It turns disasters into inconveniences and keeps you out of the debt trap for good. You start with a small starter cushion, not the scary big number. You keep it separate, you keep it it safe, and you never invest it. You automate it, you feed it with windfalls, and you stay honest about what an emergency really is. You use it when you have to, and then you refill it. If you remember one thing from this whole video, make it this. You cannot build anything that lasts on a foundation that one bad day can wipe out. The emergency fund is that foundation. Build it, and everything else we've talked about finally stands on solid ground. If this helped, subscribe. I break down the money stuff school skip one doodle at a time. Next video, how to set up a simple money system that runs all of this on autopilot. Budgeting without the boring spreadsheet. That's the one that finally ties it all together. I'll see you there.